Good morning, ladies, and welcome to the Women's Coffee Club. So grateful for all of you to be here. We created this club to provide a safe space and to support each other and be inspired and learn from each other. So grateful for the space, and especially Jane this morning, our presenter. I have a cancellation, and last minute she just agreed to do it this morning. So thank you, Jane. And she will be doing an astrology, what is it? Astrology reading about your sun and moon sign on the day you were
That's
born.
right.
So I don't know if you've had a chance to send Jane your birth date, time information, but she would be. I'm going to be turning this over to you, Jane, and if you could tell us a little bit about your background, I would really appreciate it.
Oh, sure, sure. Hold on just a second. Hold on.
You're muted.
Let's see. There I go.
Okay.
There I go. Yeah, let's see. I heard from Shri and also Kathleen Klein. Mo, I didn't hear from you or Lachelle. Suzanne, I have your information. And Anne, I didn't hear from you. Kasha, I do have your info. Mo, did you send me your info?
No, I actually specifically went in to look to see if there was a space, but I must have missed it. So I didn't see where to submit.
Okay,
So
yeah, that's fine. I mean, when is your birthday?
December 7th, 1970. Let's see.
70. Do you know what time you were born?
4 p.m. in the afternoon in
What city?
Newfoundland, Canada. Just
Oh,
in time for General Hospital. That's how I know. It was big back in the 80s.
that's really funny. I like that. I like that. Okay. It's going to take me a minute to look that up, but luckily I can walk, chew gum, and have half a brain.
Jane, I
Kathleen
put mine in the chat.
Lachelle.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. You know what? I'm much faster by the
Okay, I'll
pen.
tell you. I'm a Leo sun, Virgo moon, and Virgo rising.
Oh, I love it.
How do you know that, Michelle?
I knew I was a Leo forever, but I finally figured out the other stuff because someone else told one of my friends encouraged me to do it. And so one day, I don't know, maybe 6 months ago, I figured it out.
Oh, yeah, that's great. Let's see. I'm pulling up Suzanne right now. Um, I have over 1,500 people in my data bank, so it's like oh my goodness. It's kind of interesting. We've got both Suzanne and Lachelle with the Leo moons. I just love that. And I'm going to get to that in just a moment. So this, all right. And then Mo, just give me a minute. See, I have to, if I don't have the data, I have to input it into my computer. So, but as I'm doing that for Mo's chart, let me just say today is the new moon. It's so perfect. And for those of you like Lachelle who have Virgo in your chart, well, stand up and take notice because Pisces is the new moon. And those of you, any of you, well, there aren't any of you here today that are water signs. That's kind of interesting. Oh, you are, Anne. When is your birthday?
Yesterday was my birthday.
Happy
Oh,
birthday.
You.
birthday.
Thank you.
Oh, Anne, well, Anne Lynch, this is for you. This new moon has got your name all over it because if you're born the day of the new moon, today on the 27th, 26th, the 28th, it sets your whole year up. and I want to say this, and this is also true for those of you who are Virgos or have a Virgo moon or Virgo rising. No one else does here other than Lachelle and Anne. And I don't know about Mo yet. I'm sorry. Like I said, I'm walking and chewing gum at the same time.
What do you mean by new moon, and what does that mean?
Okay, so everybody knows the full moon, right? The new moon is 2 weeks later. It's opposite the full moon. The full moon is about endings. You'll hear nurses in an emergency room or doctors or even in a psychiatric ward, people that work there will say, yep, things really do get a little harried around the full moon. And I have an interesting story. A couple of months ago, I went to Florida and southern Florida, and there was a group of us. We're in the car. We're going to this place on the ocean for a breakfast. And you get to sit outside, and the sand isn't too far. It's like just a few steps away, and you get to see the ocean. Here's the interesting thing. We drive up, and the whole front of the restaurant and down the street, it's flooded. And thinking, what kind of a place is this? They had employees lined up, ready to take your car and move it. But first you had to, hope you had a pair of boots on or flip-flops or something, because your feet were going to get wet. And again, this is a very nice restaurant. And so I'm like, beyond knowing what it's like, it hasn't been raining. It doesn't make any sense. Oh, well, the smart astrologer got hoodwinked, because I was told that, yep, this happens every week during the full moon. We get flooded because the moon causes the tides to shift. But yet it was far enough away from the ocean. It's like, it doesn't matter. But I just thought, how interesting, if the moon can cause, the shift in the water, a lot of whether it's sea urchins or mammals, whether we know it or not, we're all a part of a cycle. And the moon is our guide, because the moon is every 28 to 29 to 30 days, it does a complete rotation. Well, what is a woman's cycle? Every 28 to 29 to 30 days. There's just no accidents in life. And that's why when I was 13 years old, I got interested in astrology. But back to the new moon. So the new moon is 2 weeks after the full moon, because again, it's about polarities in the cycle. A full moon is an opposition from the sun to the moon. It is in opposition. And so there's that pull. Whereas the new moon is when the sun and the moon align. And today and yesterday, it was in Pisces. So Anne, for your birthday, it's about new starts, new moons. And it's knocking on your door, Anne, especially because it's saying, are you ready for the newness? Are you taking advantage? Are you aware enough? Okay. So, that much I can tell you. Lachelle, on the other hand, because Virgo is opposite Pisces forever, it is impinging on your relationships. I won't go into why and how and the wherefores, but it has to do with the opposite between the Virgo Pisces lineup. Now, I got to tell you, the moon is actually going, even an astronomer would tell you that yes, the moon and sun actually do go through, and they recognize, astronomers do, the signs of the zodiac, because it goes back 2000 plus years, from Greek mythology, the people in the Mesopotamian Delta, you're the whole Greek, Roman, and the Islamic states, of sorts, your India and Pakistan, and so on, that they knew. And so what happens is that any Virgo Pisces lineup that you have in your chart, it's got your name on it. This is like, oh, forget January 1st being a new year. And for you, your new year started yesterday, right on your birthday. Okay. So treat it as such. Okay. Kathleen does have to go, so I'm going to just get to Kathleen's chart. So Kathleen is a Capricorn. Capricorn is an earth sign. Do we have any other Capricorns here? No, we don't. Yeah, close. Mo, you're a Sagittarian. But Kathleen's a Capricorn with a Leo moon. So the sun is our core self. Those of you who are born on your birthday, regardless of where you could have been born anywhere in the world, and you have in common with everybody else in the world on that day, the sun being in a certain degree of the sign. Okay. So Kathleen is a Capricorn, an earth sign, as I said. And earth signs are, just as it sounds, down to earth, very practical, one foot in front of the other kind of a thing, money oriented, security oriented. Well, Kathleen, and we've talked, Kathleen and I have talked about this. I've done her chart in great detail. She made an appointment with me a while back. And here she gets born when the moon was traveling through the constellation of Leo the Lion. Holy smokes. Couldn't be more different. Leo is a proud fire sign. The lion, the lioness. I am woman, hear me roar. Where you got Capricorn who's saying, well, I don't know. I've got a list this long of things to do that I have to get to. And Leo's like, where's the next party? Okay, are we gonna, come on. How many people are coming to the party? So I love the juxtaposition of charts that people have. And for Capricorns right now, all I can say, for those of you who know Capricorns, those are people who are born the last week in December, the first 3 weeks of January. You're out of the woods. You had like at least a 5 to 12 year run during the 2015, 2014 on through to about a year ago, where it's like, oh, 3/4 of your kids, Mo, are Capricorns. Oh yeah, 2020 and 2018 and 26, not easy for the Capricorn. And you can breathe a sigh of relief about, okay, the monkey is off my back. All right. So interesting thing in looking at everybody's chart, and you know what, I'm getting sidetracked because I'm getting into this, and I got to input Mo's info. So
I already did Mo's. Mo's an Aries moon and a Gemini rising.
I love
I know
you
her.
for
That's why I know her
that.
information.
Oh my God, I love you for that. Thank you.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you, Lachelle. Thank you so much. And Gemini rising. Well, girlfriend, Mo and I have something in common, and we have something in common with Shri and let's see, Suzanne. Yeah, those of us who have some Gemini in our charts. So Sag, Aries, Gemini. Shri is a Gemini. But here's the funny thing about both Shri and Rini. You were born, now both of you are not, I know, Rini, you're not even sure at all what time you were born, right? So the moon was traveling through the constellation of Capricorn for both Shri and Rini on the day they were born, but it went into the sign of Aquarius. So for my money, based on the fact that you said 4 p.m., Mo, I think that well, I'm sorry, Shri, you said 4 a.m., right?
But I'm not, my mom did not remember and she's passed, but I used to ask her all the time and she would say, I think it was like 4 a.m. and she would remember the birth and everything, but she didn't remember the time, which I find very odd, but
Oh,
so I'm
right.
not sure. So I think it was early morning.
Right. Okay. Well, based on that, both Rini and Shri have the moon transiting into the next sign right in the middle of the day. So here's how I figure out in my best way, because Capricorn and Aquarius are so different from one another. Capricorn is that goat, that one foot in front of the other, business-minded goat that quietly, without fanfare, maybe even behind the scenes, wants to get things accomplished and will. It's like the goat is going up the mountain. So that's the Capricorn sun, Capricorn moon characteristic. Now, if it's Aquarius, Aquarius is rational, doesn't get emotional, is humanitarian oriented, futuristic, a little bit of a rebel, where the Capricorn will say, no, I don't need to be outside the box. I have a goal here. Where the Aquarius moon or Aquarius sun sign person would say, oh no, I want fairness, equality for everyone, and I will rebel. I have, yeah. Suzanne is an Aquarius. She knows. I will take the road less traveled, says the Aquarian sun and moon person. Okay. So what do you, based on what I just said, Shri and Rini, what do you think? Do you think?
Yeah, that's totally me. I mean, I am every bit of both like Gemini and I knew the Aquarius piece of it and my daughter is an Aquarius and it makes sense why we are so close and that is her
Okay.
too. We think alike. So because my son's a Virgo and we could not be more like, we butt heads a little bit. We don't, his sign is, yeah. So yeah, I don't know, Rini, about you, but I definitely relate to, I love this stuff, by the way, so I get really into it. I just, yeah.
Well, I'm a very practical person. Um, one foot in front of another, is that what you said?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Logical, that kind of thing, practical.
And where Capricorn moon is very much, and I know because I have a Capricorn moon, but you know what? My Gemini rising makes me want to snap, crackle, and pop. And thank goodness, because I would be a dull girl, and Rini, you're a Libra.
I'm a Libra.
Libras, yeah, Suzanne, Aquarians and Leos butt heads, but respect Leo out of the family. Yeah, Suzanne. Yeah, so the Capricorn vibe is wants to build something and is very content to be the Lone Ranger, and oftentimes does go it alone. Where the Aquarius, even though it's not like Leo, but it's so funny. Here we have Suzanne, with the Aquarian Leo Sun Moon lineup, and I'm saying, see, Leo wants to have a party, join people together, join hearts and souls together. Is the warmth of Leo is so beautiful. And that's where Kathleen's moon is, and as well as Suzanne's. But the Capricorn is like, no, I have a mission, and there just is no fanfare whatsoever about it. And watch me slowly get to the top of my mountain in life, and Mo, with the Sag Aries Gemini, holy smokes, girlfriend, you are, talk about snap, crackle, and pop. You're like on steroids with that, because here we have the Sagittarius Aries fire, which is like, I have such enthusiasm. It's like you're like the coach. Coach is like undersells you, because you're the Pied Piper. You're the one who lights a fire under yourself and others because of that fire. See, Sagittarius, if you know people who are Sagittarians, that's the last week in November, first 3 weeks of December. First of all, you can't lie worth a damn. Like, you just tell it like it is. It's like, yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. And you're 2:25, 20 or 10:20 a.m. in Massachusetts.
226. Sorry. I don't know why
Okay.
I think I put the year instead of the day.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's okay.
226.
That's fine. So the whole Sag Aries is like hope springs eternal for that lineup. If you know anyone who is a Sagittarian or who is an Aries, that fire is like, there is hope. Let me tell you, enough for a second. We're not going to lose hope here. Rah, rah, go, go. I mean, really, coach personified is who you are. And then you throw in the Gemini. It's like, oh, and now she wants to talk about it.
It's eerie. Lachelle's going, yep.
Yeah, I mean, and I know because I'm a Scorpio with the Capricorn moon, and it's like, I was a mortgage advisor for most of my life, but I always was doing readings and studying astrology, right? Well, that's the Scorpio Capricorn, but I have Gemini rising like you do, and like Shri has the sun there. So that is, I have something to say in life. It's like being vaccinated with a Victrola needle. It's like, I need to communicate. I need to write. I need to speak. I have a message, and it's honoring that. And that's why I love doing charts so much, is because it celebrates each person, and the nuances, because we're made up of, well, actually, here, I'll show you. I brought along a copy of a birth chart, And so here we go. So I'll hold this up just to give you an idea of this is a person's birth chart, just one person. They all look a little bit different, the lines, so we've got the signs of the zodiac are here. And then the lines are the communication lines between the planets on the day, time, and place you were born. And it tells the story of you. And I know in spiritual practices, a lot of people confer that as a baby in utero, that, somehow we're really all knowing creatures walking this earth. We act like we're not. We don't give ourselves the due that we should be giving. And so there's this dumbing down of ourselves, but that baby in utero, it's told, like I said, in spiritual circles, that the baby decides the day of birth. It's almost like, yeah, mom and dad picked out my sun sign, but I'm picking out my moon sign, and so, you kind of, it's just brilliant. How many of us as women, if we've born children, can say, yeah, I had a due date, but nope, that one wanted to be born 2 weeks early, or this one wanted to be born 3 weeks late, or as the list goes on, we all have a story to tell, right? So anyways, but yeah, so that's a little bit about Mo. And Lachelle, thank you so much for looking that up, because it takes me a minute to look up charts if I don't have them ahead of time. So okay, so we talked about the moon. So we kind of figured out that, like, Rini is most definitely, I'm really thinking, Rini, just in the years that I've known you, I really think Capricorn moon all the way. And Shri, yeah, I mean, Aquarius, ready to go to bat for those who don't have a voice, is really kind of your calling. And you put that together with the Gemini. The one thing, and I looked up the people that I had the information ahead of time, I was able to just refer to. It's kind of fun to know where Venus is and Mars and so on. And I'll just take Shri, for instance. Shri is a Gemini, and we think an Aquarian moon. That is air. Those are air signs, Gemini and Aquarius. Cerebral, the thinker, the rational thinker, the one who does have something to say. But Venus was traveling through the constellation of Cancer when you were born. It's like, damn, she's a bleeding heart. She's got an underbelly that's so soft that people don't really get that just about Shri. They don't see the nurturing her, that her that wants to take care of people. And boy, that's a surefire way that others could take advantage of you if they wanted to, because of that soft underbelly that you possess. Does that make sense, Shri?
Yep. All of it.
Yep.
Very much.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you present with, like, my mind is on fire. I've got so many thoughts. I have so many ideas I want to implement. And then there's the Venus in Cancer. And it's like, yep. And her door is open to everybody,
I've never been told that piece of it before, though. That's really interesting. I never knew
Yeah.
that about the Venus and Cancer and the heart piece at all. But yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. So let's see. Wait, Kathleen, Suzanne, whose charts I have in front of me, and I'm sorry. Let's see. We got Virgo. Oh, all right. So let me talk a little bit about, because unfortunately it takes me about 5 minutes to input the information and get it back. So I don't want to take up everyone else's time. But I want to talk generally about kind of what's happening with the planets currently that might be affecting those of you. So currently we've had the sign of Gemini has been inhabited with Jupiter. Jupiter has been moving through that sign for the last 8 to 9 months. Well, so for people like Shri and well, not so much let's see. Yeah, and Mo. And really, people with the moon and Gemini, or Gemini rising. Jupiter is the planet of great benevolence, great blessings. It only knows how to expand and give those gifts. And so those of you who do have the Gemini in your chart, you've had a nice open door policy given to you by others because it's so hospitable. The interesting thing now is that Jupiter is going to be going into the sign of Cancer. So if you know anyone who's born the last week in June, the first 3 weeks of July, those are Cancer people. That's a water sign, the mothers of the zodiac, the great nurturers, the warriors of the zodiac too. And so here's the interesting thing, Shri, about you is that when Jupiter goes through and on like they're going to be like maybe a 2 or 3 week period, maybe longer. I don't know. I'm not looking at your chart and what degree and how the movement of this planet is right now. But there's a period this year where that Jupiter is going to hit your Venus in Cancer. I don't know if you have a grandchild coming your way or what?
Better not. I hope not.
Okay.
I'm not ready.
Okay. And you're not bringing a new life into the world. So, yeah. Oftentimes when Jupiter gets with Venus, there's love. It's just, there's love. So there's a time for everything, and, turn.
With like meaning love from me.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Well, it's funny because I've just recently opened myself up to that idea because I went on my first date in 2 years last night. So yeah.
Yay.
Oh, honey, there you go. There she goes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Again, I'd have to look at your whole chart, but that's beautiful. Yeah.
Okay.
No, it's,
That's it, Shri. That's it.
Now, clearly the date last night is not the one, but I did open myself up. I did put myself out there.
Give up. Hey, you know what? I was in this position, 9, 10, 11 months ago. And, I'm sitting here, and I have the man of my dreams in my life,
That's good to
Wow.
that I really, and I'm not, I mean, really the compatibility and the integrity of our relationship and the fun and the heart, so easy for me to say, Tree, get the hell out there and you just give it your all, girl, and meet up with this one, have coffee with that one, have a lunch, have whatever,
You're giving me hope.
Yes.
Yeah.
You should.
That's awesome.
You should.
I am open. Okay.
Absolutely.
Right.
So that's Jupiter. And I do want to say, Shri, and this is kind of interesting. I saw this jumped off the charts at me. Okay, so let's see, Mo. That's so funny. I have this fella texting me, and it's
we're on
the
the same
first time
page,
I've
Mo.
talked regularly. Oh,
Yeah.
okay, Mo. Go, Mo.
I don't know what came over me last week. I was like, all right, I'm going to do this. And it just, This
Okay,
phone,
it's-
literally.
It's so weird because I met these two fellas separately on the cruise I went on, and then I've been chatting with each of them. And then my neighbors, last week I went over for a happy hour, and they're talking about their friend Matt, who's been divorced 2 years. And I said, "How tall is he?" And he's 6 feet. It was like, because I said I'm looking for a lumberjack type. So anyway, they set it up. So I'm going over there Saturday for happy hour. I'll invite you for happy hour. We'll have him for dinner. And then if you want to stay, you can stay. And if you don't, then you can just go and say you have to do something or whatever. And I'm like, so suddenly like all
Cool.
these things are opening. I don't know if that's in my chart, but but I'm open
Well,
to
yes.
it.
That's
Oh,
why,
yeah,
because you're open
absolutely.
to it, right? You're
Yes,
open to it. I
because
mean, yeah.
the Gemini suns and the Gemini risings, like yourselves, definitely it's let the blessings flow is really, and this doesn't happen again until 12, 13 years from now.
Okay,
This
so I
is-
should hop on it
So
now.
it's like
Wow.
Get busy, Sheree.
carpe,
I
carpe
guess I better really
diem.
be focused on this because I'll be like ready to, okay.
Yeah.
Is this
yeah,
the
get
time?
It's the time.
Oh,
I
oh my
got
God,
it.
It
Sheree.
feels like the time. And the funny
And
thing is the guy
listen,
last
I-
night, like he's not, I don't want to pick him apart because I don't want to do that anymore. But you just know, but there was so much about him that it's everything I've been putting in my intentions, like the spirituality. He's like, I could have a conversation with him like I've never had with another guy. Like, I'm like, okay, it's one step closer. He's not the one, but I'm getting there. You know, I'm like, I know what to
That's awesome.
push away now and not give it my
Oh.
time. But anyway, so
I'm writing
That's
my letter of my letter of manifestation this weekend. It's going in my calendar. I'm good. Tree, you're inspiring me because these things are coming up for me, and like that's like the one guy has certain things and the other guy has certain
yeah,
things.
yeah.
So,
But the old me would have given that guy more time and be like, oh, maybe, and rationalize. And the person that's learned her lesson knows not to do that. And I got to tell you, I did not want to go last night. My daughter was like, I don't want to go. I'm glad I went. But I'm curious, Jane, is there like anything other in my chart before you go on to anybody else? Because I don't want to take up everyone's time.
yeah, there's just, well, I do want to say this to you because this is big. Because of when you were born, Saturn, the planet Saturn is like the opposite of Jupiter. Saturn is the teacher planet. It's the curmudgeon-y grandfather that says those green beans and broccoli have to be eaten. It's a beautiful anchor because that's what it's meant to do in our lives. But oftentimes, if we have lessons to learn, Saturn comes along and its transit. You had you just ended a 28, 29 year cycle, Shree, where Saturn was in, it was called a Saturn return. It goes back to where it was at your birth. That's past you.
I'm gonna cry. You know why? Because
hooray, raise the roof.
From
Because
September to now, I have had the most intense, horrible lessons that I've had to learn that I've repeated over and over and over again. I was like, I'm done. Like, I've learned the lesson. Like, God, make my vessel larger. I'm ready for the next. I'm ready to.
It's gone.
It's so funny.
Wow.
Thank you for telling me this because I think I needed that validity because I've been so, wow. So it's over?
Yeah.
It's done. Saturn is.
It's
okay.
over. It's over.
Oh, wow.
You know, yeah, it's over. And it doesn't come back for another 28 years. And probably by that time, you won't care as much.
I won't care. And it's
You
funny because
know?
I knew I had to learn. I've been like doing this whole course. I'm like, I'm thanking this lesson. Like, I know I have to learn this lesson, but I'm done this time. Like, I really know I'm ready to.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's.
Can we have coffee? Because I feel like we are on the same path because I too have had these crazy repeating lessons and now I'm done. I'm like, you know what? I've made peace with it. I'm learning from it. I'm moving on and it's no longer holding me back.
Like,
and that's
I have chills right now. Like, I'm like crying, happy cry with chills right now because it's just like,
good. Oh, I know that Venus in Cancer.
Like, it's just huge.
Yeah.
You guys need to have virtual coffee.
seriously free.
Yeah, let me know.
Yeah, no, absolutely. We can do that. I do one-on-one chart readings all the time. So yes, that's something we certainly can do. Yeah, so that jumped out at me. When I do readings, I get very in depth. Most of my readings go an hour to an hour and 15 minutes at least, with me just talking about what's happening in your birth chart. So, but let's get on to
Thank you.
so that was Jupiter. Saturn has been in Pisces for the last couple of years. And that's moving out of there, which certainly Anne would be really looking forward to that. Not so much this year, Anne, but next year. And I thought I had oh, here
What
it is.
is
Here's my
next year?
calendar. Yeah, let me take a quick look here as to when Saturn goes bye-bye. But there really is a time and place for everything under the heavens. And I guess, astrology doesn't predict. We have free will, but astrology tells us, and I'm able to inform people about, well, what is your cycle? What is your cycle all about? And one of the things that's really pretty fascinating that I love, it's called a progressed moon in a person's birth chart. And if you want to know where you're at and where you belong and what you need to be learning at this point, this month, this year, that's what we take a look at, is the progressed moon in your birth chart. Because it tells so much, and it just validates your road, your path, your cycle. Yeah, so we're gonna have Saturn is gonna stay in Pisces for the rest of the year. And that really affects people who are born the last week, or I'm sorry, the third week in September and the third week in March. They kind of have that monkey on their back. Or those of you like Shri, who you were born with Saturn in Pisces, but it's left there. It, was that yeah. So other planets.
But what does that mean for Anne?
Did you say for Anne?
Yeah, you were saying about
Yeah. Well, and with your birthday, you're kind of out of that cycle, which is great. About 2 years ago, Saturn was in conjunction with your sun sign. So those people who were born the last week in February were feeling way too grounded. Like, instead of it being just a simple anchor, it felt like maybe you were wearing cement boots 2 years ago. Like you couldn't get traction. It just did not, there was no, you couldn't have flown, sprouted wings and flown if you wanted to. That's past you, because it's now affecting the Pisces people who were born the third week in March. So that's, that is good.
you understand, Anne, what she's saying?
Well, I understand that what she was saying about before, like the last few years. I guess I thought she was about to say something about what's going to happen now. Or did I miss that?
No, like I said, I'm just using yours as a focus, because you were born the end of February as a Pisces instead of the second or third week in March. Those people have been feeling very restricted. That kind of left you about 2 years ago, so that's not impacting. again,
So
when I do
she's freer
readings,
now? Is that what you're saying? That restriction
yes,
is gone?
yes,
So
it's
you're freer now.
it's lifted, it's
Okay.
passed,
I see.
so you don't have that. But again, charts, you know, it's there's a lot of information that I glean from a birth chart.
Mm.
There's so much, and this, this begets this impacts that, and it's knowing how to read it, bring it all together, um, you know, and I'm just so grateful for that. I do want to say this to you, and this is where my fun comes in as an astrologer. As I mentioned, I have close to 1,500 people in my data bank of charts that I've looked at or done readings on. And it's been so much fun for me to help people to decipher uh, the person, the love person in their life, or potential love person in their life, comparing the two charts astrologically. I'm telling you, it's never been wrong. It's never, I will share with you this, and I know we're getting towards the end, but
Yeah, I'd
I'll
like to hear Lachelle, and I think Suzanne you mentioned, and then there's Omeka, and we still have a couple more people here. So,
right. Well, the problem is that it takes me, if I know a
yeah,
person's going to be here, I can have their information
yeah,
ready. And if
got it.
I didn't know you're coming, it's like I have to look it up. So I need that 4 or 5 minutes
Okay.
that I don't
Do
have.
you have Lachelle, Jane?
Um, let's see, Lachelle, yeah, I just have the sun, moon, and rising. So I have a limited amount, and she
Okay.
gave me that information because I didn't know that she was going to be here. But yes, should we do this again? I can certainly do a little bit of a deeper dive.
Well, we have a
Um,
cancellation next week, or we could do it at a different time because we just do it this week. I have a cancellation and has something, her daughter's graduation, so she can't do it.
oh,
So any one of you who wants to speak next week, I know, Lachelle, you're on the schedule. If you want to move it one week, do you want to do it next week, Lachelle?
I probably shouldn't because I have this huge deadline at work.
Okay, no,
And
don't do it.
so,
It's not.
yeah,
And then I think Mo, you're also on the schedule. I don't know if you want to do it next week to trade with with Ann.
Let me look at my
If
schedule.
not, it's okay. I have database. I have other people that I could ask. I just haven't. It just came up. And then of
I mean,
course
I always
Jane
have
is
something I can
another
whip out.
option. What is it?
I said I always have something I can whip out. I mean, I have so many master classes and things that I can do. But yeah, the one I have planned for it's March, right? Yeah, it's next month.
Yeah, another option is to have Jane finish us up because we only have 7 more minutes and we have a few more people here that she doesn't necessarily have the information to. So
yeah, I don't have it in front of
okay.
me.
Let's
Yeah,
do this next week, Mo, if you can. We'll move you to next week, and then Jane will schedule you next time, the next opening, that so that for those that you didn't get the chance to, or have people who have not submitted the information, then you can do it at that time. How's that, Jane? I'll
yeah,
schedule you another one. Probably it'll probably be in May.
yeah, that's
So
beautiful.
Mo, so
No,
I'll put you down for
absolutely.
next week then.
Yeah, that should be okay. Let me
I
see.
already have the description and everything. It's about health and
Yeah,
nutrition. So
yeah,
that's
it's
a topic that
renewal.
you're comfortable with.
Yeah, nutrition renewal. It's
Yes, nutrition and renewal. I
yeah.
think that I already have your description and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yep.
and so do you have information for Lachelle right now, or you already did Suzanne, right? Kathleen, you did Kathleen?
Yeah, and
No?
you know what, I
I
didn't.
can, you know what, Jane, I can send you mine so you can see my full chart.
Okay, that's
Okay,
for the following
beautiful.
opportunity. Do you
Yeah.
have Suzanne's information, Jane?
I do. It's in my database. It takes me a minute to pull it up. Um, and I, yeah, so the sun and moon was Aquarius and Leo, is what I looked up quickly. Let's see if I can just so quickly. Yeah, I got it right here. And so Suzanne did do a one-on-one reading with me a few months ago. Yeah, so what I like best about Suzanne's chart is she has Venus in Capricorn. And oh, thank you, Shri. You okay? Thank you. Wonderful. Yes, she has Venus in Capricorn. So Venus in Capricorn is all about um loving, practically loving, loving in a way that you want to build something. You really want to, Suzanne wants to build a relationship. Even though that Leo moon wants to get next to and is attracted to someone who is a Leo, and Leo just wants to be creative and have fun and spread their wings and shine, shine, shine. But Venus,
in my case, Leo wants to get in the way.
Yes, Suzanne.
Leo wants to take all the sunshine away from anyone else having.
Yes. Well, yes and no. You're so good at sharing the sunshine and with other people, and they share with you, and it's a beautiful thing. Venus and Capricorn, this, if we remember, I said people who were Capricorns are out of the woods in life because for years they had so much hardship, lessons to learn. It felt very like really being held back. Well, if you have Venus and Capricorn at birth and you have in common with the people who have their sun signs in Capricorn, you're attracted to other Capricorns. You too had that downtrodden, really like at least a 12 to 15 year cycle where love was just lesson and another lesson and let's have another lesson. It's like, please, if lessons were waves of the ocean, you kept getting hit. That's over.
Good.
Done that, yeah. So anyways,
I'm exhausted.
Yeah, very much so. Very much so. So I'll leave you with this story. This was probably about maybe 5 years ago. I was doing a reading for a large group of women. Oh, there were probably like 15, 16 women. They were all pharmacists and bye, Ian. And they were I had all their charts in front of me, and so we did a big table of all of us together. And this one woman said to me, I'm gonna be moving to Michigan, from New York to Michigan.
All right. How many are you out there?
Sorry.
What's that? Oh, okay. So she tells me that, and she's, well, by the way, I'd really like a one-on-one reading with you. And she gave me her boyfriend's birth information. And so we did a reading a couple days later, her and I. And I looked at his chart because she was moving to Michigan because his job was taking him there. And I told her, I said, you're not, no, it's not gonna last. I said, can I just say something? He doesn't really know you, does he? He doesn't get you. He really doesn't get who you are, your essence, your true being. I said, he can't. I'm looking at his chart. I like you two are like oil and water. And she said, yeah, well, anyways, P.S. She was there for 3 months and she's never seen him again. So,
Oh, wow.
but that's not my influence. I simply see things and have to say it, and that's how that goes. And it just is what it is. I mean, there are alignments, and there are, are we barking up the wrong tree? Are we trying to walk up a hill with oil on the bottom of our shoes? Why do that when you don't have to? Why go against when you can be in harmony? So astrology can tell you those things. So it's fun. It's fun for me. It's fun for them. Yeah. So questions quickly if you
This
have
has
any
been so
questions.
much fun, Jane. I'm having fun just listening to what you have to say and the reaction from everyone. And I know not everybody get a chance because Jane doesn't have your information. So for the next time, so Jane, I'll probably be in May. I'll let you
That'd
know
be
the date,
great.
the opening, and then if each of you that didn't get a chance to submit the information to Jane, that way she doesn't have to she has the information for the next time. But this has been fun. Anything else anyone want to say before we close here? Oh, go ahead.
You hate to be a stereotype, but boy, am I a stereotype when it comes to my reading. I'm like, check, check, check. I mean, the
No,
whole,
Mo, you are a shining star. You're not a
Yeah,
stereotype.
yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
I
I
mean,
agree. I
like
agree.
the
That was
stars and the planets don't lie. So yeah,
I,
yay,
I, lo-
Sag, Aries, Gemini, you go, girl.
well, it's like what Shree said, like that. I spent so much of my life looking for validation. I don't look for validation anymore, but confirmation when you feel things inside of yourself and you're pulled in a certain direction. So when you read things like this, I'm like, okay, I'm not making things up in my head. This is really in my energetic pattern. This is this is absolutely part of me. I did ask in the thing, what about people who have scheduled C-sections? Because you said that babies choose. And two of my babies, one chose Christmas Day, the other one chose New Year's Day. Rude.
both of them are a C-section.
Yeah, but what about a C-section? Mine weren't.
Yeah, well, absolutely. And that shows up too, because something that is being, something like a natural uh, birth isn't, it's being scheduled. It's being, we're putting it right in there. And yes, are there good reasons for that? Of course there are. And we're lucky to have them, right?
Yeah.
It's meant to be. Whatever happens is meant to be. No accidents, not one. Just as those babies who come late, early, right on time, C-section. Yeah.
Yeah. I
I'll
had
just
all of those, except for the C-section. I had all those options, early, late, right on time.
right.
That's
I have
that's
to
cool.
tell you, and this is kind of a fun little ditty. My son and his wife were having their fourth child, and it's like 12:30, 1 o'clock, and my son's on the phone with me. It's in the morning, and
Mhm.
he's like, Mom, he said, you really need to get here right away. And I said, no. I said, don't worry. I said, the moon is in Cancer right now. And I said, it doesn't go into Leo until 2 o'clock. I said, there's no way you're going to have a child with the moon in Cancer. And, it's sort of like, like, what is she saying? What is this nonsense? Well, guess what? She was born at 2:03 a.m. I was there
Wow.
about 45 minutes early because
Wow, that's
it's like,
funny.
no,
Mhm.
no, it doesn't fit the family. It's not.
Yeah,
And I've sat at tables with whole families too. And that is something else. The holes in her head fit the bumps in his head, and so on and so on,
that's funny.
and it,
It's
yeah.
it's
That's
funny
awesome.
because all three of my girls we're all earth signs. I have a Libra, a Gemini, and an Aquarian.
Oh,
That's
wow.
amazing. Yeah, yeah. Oh my God. I know. And here you've got all the fire and the fire, yeah, the fire in the air, and they're earth, down to earth. Okay, mom, we're going to be the voice of reason. But you know what? They probably have, who knows where their moon is and the Venus and the other planets, the rising sign. They blend with you. There's a fit. There's a natural fit for us all and no accidents.
Thank you.
So,
No.
Thank you all. We've already passed, it's 8:05 right now. So, Omeka, next time submit your information and we'll do yours next time.
yeah, I do
And
have Olmeca in my database, but again, it takes me about 3 or 4 minutes and then
yeah,
I take it away from the time. So it's
we'll
like
do it next time.
tough.
And Lachelle, I
Yeah.
need to finalize the description with you. Look at what I
I
sent
know.
you.
I've been working on that. I'm sorry. I was waiting for some information and I got that. So I will get that to you as soon as possible.
Okay. Thank you again, everyone. Mo,
Thank you so
Suzanne,
much.
Omeka,
Great
Kathleen, and Kasia. We didn't get a chance to talk to you. Kathleen, you're still here.
I am.
Yeah,
I was
no,
listening.
we talked about Kathleen's
Yeah, you did in the
lineup
beginning.
in
Do you have any
yeah.
question, Kathleen? We need to close this out.
Just, is there any part of my chart? I know I'm Capricorn and my rising sign, I think, is Aquarius. Is that
Yes.
why I'm still having challenges?
You know what? I'll tell you what. Let's you and I like schedule something, Kathleen.
Okay,
to
yeah.
Just kind of do an update, because I
Sure.
can tell you a little bit more,
Sounds
Sounds
good.
good.
Yeah, beautiful. Thank you, ladies. This is
This is
So
fun.
much fun.
Thank you, Jane.
great fun. Great fun.
Appreciate your
Yeah.
time and everyone. Your participation, your contribution is very much appreciated. And Jane, you're always a gem for us. So I'll reschedule the next time and have everyone submit their information. With that, Mo, I'll get with you. We already have the description set and everything,
Yeah.
so I'll just announce it that you'll be presenting next week. Thank you again, everyone.
Rinny.
Have a great.
Great.
Minnie, if you want me to, oh, she hung up. Oh, no, she's there. You know what? If you want me to, I'll tell you what I'm doing. And I'm just working about it because it's something you guys can think about. A lot of times as solopreneurs or businesswomen, we're in this community. And one of the things about a community is there's a lot of wisdom in the community. And so what I'm going to do is what we call an ask give. I'm doing it for a certification that I'm doing. And so I want you guys to be thinking about things that you would love in your business. Like maybe you don't know how to do something in tech. Maybe you would like an introduction to someone. Maybe you can, and then also look at the other side, what you can give. Like Jane has so generously given to people something that you're not going to charge someone for, but something that you might have. So the last one time I did it, I was getting certified in something else and I needed clients. And I ended up meeting two really fantastic friends because of the work that I was doing that I offered in this Ask Give in this group. And so it's a way to kind of find out what people's strengths are, what people's needs are. And so we can actually serve each other as a community to bring us better, closer together as a community. So that's in 3 weeks. No, 2 weeks. Is it 2 weeks?
Yeah,
2 weeks.
I think after
2 weeks from now. So just put on your little thinking cap. And I may actually send, I haven't even told Rennie this, but I may send like a pre-thing just to see, because I want to see if there's certain categories that might make sense to go together, like tech, connections, brainstorming, ideas, that kind of stuff. So as I'm putting it into your brain as a seed, because I know when I get stuff like that, my brain will start going off. So start taking notes on things that you might want. And it's not like you're going to come in and be like, grabby. We're going to do this in a very organized way, but I think it can be really, really fruitful and help with some collaborations that will be profitable and strategic for everybody. So anyways, that's
it's
what
like
we're doing.
a matchmaker.
It's matchmaking, networking, but in a totally different, with a big twist. It's not just like, okay, I'm this, I'm this. It's really, really and there's a lot of like Jane, I love you because I was working with some people just before this, and I appreciate your spirituality because it also brings in that element of being the spiritual beings that we are. So anyway,
Yeah.
that's
That's
what we're going to do
awesome,
in 2 weeks.
Lachelle. I
Yeah,
think
I
in a
like
way,
it.
the coffee club, it's kind of like that. We're giving, all of us here,
Yes.
we're giving, we're,
Oh
we're
yeah.
giving and
Yes.
we're taking, but it's like a collaboration.
Yeah, well, and that's why I think that this would be a really great group to do because I know that certain people do certain things, but we're able to even think of things outside of what our focus is. There may be some other hidden talent. You're like, you know what? I want to offer that because I love doing that. And that I sound like Jane, when you first told your story, that's how you got into the astrology, it seemed like to me.
Right.
So
Right.
That's
Yeah.
To make a
awesome.
chart to put on the coffee hour as a link.
yeah.
So that when we're
That's
running
awesome.
into that point of, okay, who said they did this?
Right.
Yeah.
And so there's an
Yes.
organized way that we will capture all of those things so that people can go back to it and refer to it. So
Like, for
Mm.
example, my ask is for you to invite other people here that we grow by, sharing and collaborating, right? So, and Lachelle has done that. Mo is here because of Lachelle and several others. So, again, thank you. This has been a wonderful session, Jane. So grateful
No,
for you
I think
and
so
all of you.
too.
So, have a great week, have a great weekend, and we'll see you back here again next week.
Yeah. Go
Awesome. Thank
celebrate
you.
yourself.
What's
Yes,
that?
and Kathleen,
Go
what did you say?
celebrate yourself.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Bye,
absolutely. We all need
everybody.
that.
Thanks,
Bye.
Rainey.
Bye-bye.
Thanks,
Thank
Jane.
you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Thanks. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.